And first results are coming in from the rebel referendums in eastern Ukraine. Also,
the
polls have closed and first results are coming in from the referendum in eastern Ukraine. Plus, Manchester City. Hello and welcome to CNN Newsroom. I'm Jonathan Mann. The vote counting has begun in two restive provinces of eastern Ukraine. The separatists of Slavyansk are hoping these ballots will help them break away. Voters in Donetsk and Luhansk provinces were asked if they recognize the sovereignty of the self-styled People's Republic, the name pro-Russia separatists have given their rebellion against the Kiev government. The voting has been problematic. You'll be able to see, watch right now, as this woman appears to put at least 2 ballots in the box. Many voters not on the voter lists were also allowed to cast ballots simply by showing their identification. But the head of the Donetsk Election Committee says there was no fraud and hailed what he said was high turnout. We're getting the first results now from the southeastern city of Slavyansk. Senior international correspondent Nick Payton-Walsh has been watching the balloting and joins us now. Nick, the numbers are coming in. Are the rebels getting what they want?
Well, there was never any doubt they would, really. I mean, we talk about this as if it is a normal election, but it is absolutely not that, for 2 reasons. First of all, of course, that we're dealing with a climate here of military conflict. We've seen violence repeatedly in the past few days in and around Slavyansk, and the Ukrainian military is still very much ensconced around its edges, with violence, in fact, just the night before the election on one of the outskirts. So clearly the climate here isn't one you would normally expect to have open debate between 2 sides in which those who think this should remain part of Ukraine get to voice theirs publicly, and there's an open debate with those who believe this should have its own independence or perhaps join Russia. This has simply been a pretty straightforward process in which people are asked to come out and endorse what's pretty much already happened here, which is pro-Russian militants and protesters taking control of the town and then asking those people to put an X in a box on a ballot sheet to endorse what's previously already happened. So no one, I think, really doubted what kind of results we would see here today, and we've just spoken to the self-declared mayor of Slavyansk, who says that in this area itself, they think turn out about 80%. And that in one instance, 1,200 votes were counted and a mere 40 were in fact against the idea of declaring the Donetsk Republic independent. So these were numbers most people really expected, and it's more sort of typical to post-Soviet democratic practice, where you see the political process about a reflection of power and decisions already made by politicians rather than a genuine plebiscite and debate. But that's not to say there isn't some support here in Slavyansk for the unrest that's happened. It's just you never hear from those people who don't support it. They're the sort of silent group staying mostly indoors, Jonathan.
What happens now? You say Slavyansk has this famously self-styled mayor. How does he make his town into an independent republic?
Well, I think the first problem he's going to face is whether the Ukrainian government decide to let them be here, or whether they move their military further in. They've been hovering on the outskirts, as I say. He said to me that they want to establish their own constitution, sort of solidify the Donetsk Republic's way of governance. But also, there's been chaos here, frankly. It's very much a militant governance here. A lot of armed fighters defending the town from the Ukrainian military and dominating a lot of daily life here. So he also answered the question, what next when it comes to relations with Russia, making it clear they want closer relations with Russia. A bit of confusion on their part because Vladimir Putin recommended the referendum be delayed mere days ago, but they still went ahead. And he did say that if required, they'd have another referendum about joining Russia. But really the program here thrown slightly into a mess by the Kremlin's comments, and I think they're looking now to see what they can do in terms of capitalise their sense of independence here, and presumably in the back of their minds hoping maybe at some point Moscow will come to the rescue, Jonathan.
Nick Payton-Walsh, live for us. Thanks very much. Meantime, social media video appears to show a shooting Sunday northwest of Donetsk in the city of Krasnoarmeysk, where voting was also taking place.